Good morning. Can everyone hear me? I hope. Okay. First, I just want to begin by saying that I am really privileged to be here with such talented and passionate residents. In preparing for this presentation, we didn't really meet before, but we exchanged a lot of emails and got to know them, electronically, and it's been a pleasure to work with them. I also want to thank Mrs. Walsh for all of those lovely words. I don't really know how to follow that, so I'll try, but I have truly appreciated the mutual respect and the friendship that we have developed over the past 5.5 years, so thank you for that, Mrs. Walsh. I'm here today to offer providers perspective on the unique relationships that we as managers have with the residents in our communities. And as I was preparing for this presentation, I was asked to offer a little background on myself because it really does play a significant role in who I am as a leader today. And as Mrs. Walsh mentioned, my family and mentors and friends all kind of led me to where I am today. I grew up in a small Midwest town with a lot of generations surrounding me, a very large extended family. And I was very fortunate to have known my great-grandparents, my grandparents, my great-aunts and uncles. We're all very close-knit. And like many of you, I'm sure that's why you're in the business as well. I saw them go through a lot of transitions in their lives, whether they needed nursing home care or maybe some home health or just family care. And so I was a part of that. As a close-knit family, we're always intimately involved in everything that's going on. And as my family members transitioned into nursing homes, I spent a lot of time there growing up. My brother and I used to take our roller skates, lace them up, and do shows for the residents. But I really got to know the residents there, talking with them, getting to know their stories. I really found that their histories were just so remarkable. And ultimately, everything I learned from them made a permanent impression on the person that I would eventually become. And so at that point in my life, when I was quite young, I wanted to be working in nursing homes. And so throughout my collegiate career, I focused on long-term care administration. Now, growing up in a small town, I really only knew nursing homes. We had 2 small nursing homes, and I thought that's where I was going to work, in a standalone nursing home. But through my education, I started to find out what's available to me and to the seniors outside of that small Midwest town. And I found CCRCs to really be an optimal environment for providing quality care. That the staff was able to get to know the residents when they're still very active, and so that we were able to provide a personalized continuum of services no matter what the residents need when they need them. And so following my master's degree, I joined LCS in 2001 and transferred to Stone Ridge in 2007, where I've been very happy and have made a lot of friends. So that's a little bit about me. So we are, as previously mentioned, Stone Ridge is a for-profit organization. It's a Type B community. We have 270 independent living apartments, 40 skilled nursing units, and 12 assisted memory care suites. It is owned with a partner as well as managed by LCS. LCS has over 40 years of success in the industry. The company focuses on the progressive management of senior living communities and has developed programs that are driven by the residents to help ensure that they have their independence and well-being. We maintain an awareness of the changing market and focus not only on the expectations of the existing residents, but also the future residents. And we don't want to just meet their expectations, but to exceed their expectations. LCS is committed to the research, planning, and management of residential communities and services that address the ever-changing needs. We all know that what people wanted 5 years ago is not what people necessarily want today, and it's not what people will want 5 years down the road. LCS serves more than 29,000 residents daily in over 90 communities nationwide. And the following principles provide guidance for all that the company does, and everyone who works there follows these in everything that we do. We serve the customer first and foremost. We deal honestly and fairly with integrity and openness. We maintain a long-term perspective. We are diligent and persevering. We are interconnected and interdependent. Resident satisfaction and feedback is critical throughout the company. Formal resident satisfaction surveys are done every 2 years. Over the past several years, the results have climbed corporately, which is very encouraging. These surveys are not an exercise in futility. They're actually working documents. Every concern, every question is followed up on. Action plans are created. The staff creates them with input from the residents. They are submitted to senior management at LCS as well as our LCS resource team, and support is provided until the desired results are achieved. The company's goal is to constantly improve in the consistency and quality of services being provided. At Stoneridge, we do genuinely appreciate the expertise and the backgrounds of the residents. We do this in several ways, and we look for ways to maximize their contributions. When we do this is through our resident committees. Like many of you, I'm sure we have committees for every facet of operation. Although they're often advisory in nature, the systems have been established to incorporate the knowledge and perspectives of the residents on those committees. One resident, for example, or one committee that I work with very closely is the Finance Committee, for many reasons that I'm sure you're aware and that have been previously mentioned. On that Resident Finance Committee, we have a CPA, a town clerk, naval officers, including a nurse with healthcare management experience, retired servicemen and women, an international hospitality consultant, a teacher, marketing executives, and a CFO. So the qualities that they bring to the table of that committee are really invaluable. Each month, we do review the financials. We also look at the projections for the future. I meet with the chair of that committee probably every other day, and we're discussing openly what can we do in the future, where are we heading, and what tools can we use to better communicate to the residents of that committee as well as the entire resident body to better communicate our current projections and our current standings and our future projections. So the committee is also very involved in the budget process. The budget process involves actually all of the committees. Each committee works with the department director and looks at what projects do they want in the future, what operational changes would they like to see in the upcoming year. So they put together quotes and create a formal request. That request then goes to the Finance Committee. The Finance Committee reviews it, looks for maybe things that are not necessarily would not fit into the budget, maybe are not in the residents' best interest financially. Ultimately, those requests also go to the resident council because we want to make sure that all requests do represent the entire resident body. So it's a fairly lengthy process, but it's very beneficial. All of our the drafts of all of our budgets are reviewed with the Finance Committee in detail before the budget is completed. Whenever possible, if there are suggestions, perhaps monthly fee adjustments or ways we can change our operations to achieve that, we incorporate that whenever possible. And then we do the all-staff meeting, or all-resident meeting and all-staff meeting to explain the budget. We talk about industry trends. We talk about key assumptions and how we got to the numbers that we have. We answer any questions. In addition to the financial management of the community, we have partnered with the residents to plan for both the immediate and long-term future of the community. In 2011, we conducted our first strategic planning session. And at that point, we knew it was important to reach beyond just senior leadership members, but we also included residents, line staff, and members from the LCS corporate office came. We did 3 days of meetings where we all met and found common goals or common priorities for the future. Those priorities have then been divided into subcommittees. The subcommittees continue to work, and it's been an ongoing process since last year. It's really been, again, beneficial to have the input of the residents and the line staff together so that we're all on the same page. I mean, overall, the process was instrumental in bringing us all together for a common goal. We also have an employee appreciation committee, and that was created to show the employees the appreciation of the residents. It's done annually. Other LCS communities also have a scholarship fund, resident run. Although Stoneridge doesn't have that at this time, I know the residents have been really actively pursuing how to do that and how to achieve that in the future. The staff deeply appreciates the support of the residents and respects the partnership that has been created. Outside of the formal meetings and projects that have been established, we look for informal opportunities to continue to foster our relationship with the residents. Staff maintains an open door policy. We frequently walk around the building, and we make sure that we are available for any questions, comments, or concerns, whether they be in formal meetings, impromptu meetings, phone calls, emails, whatever it may be. Senior LCS management is also committed to creating a positive relationship with the residents. They are always available during their visits to the community, as well as by phone, email, and letters with prompt and personal follow-up. Recently, the CEO and a senior vice president was even on site and held individual meetings with residents who were interested in finding out more about the future of the community. And once those meetings were done, residents were very appreciative of the time that the executives had spent with them. Like many communities, the economy has had an impact on Stone Ridge. Our partnership with residents is essential for our long-term success. We work closely with the residents to identify referrals, which not only has a positive impact on the success of the community, but it also helps control monthly fees through the economies of scale. We all know that residents will not refer unless they are happy. So again, it's really critical that we understand what the residents are expecting and how happy they are with the services they are receiving. Residents are also involved in marketing workshops, building personal relationships with prospective residents. We partner with the residents to develop marketing events, focusing on their education, their educational, social, and personal relationships. Keeping in mind the long-term viability of the community, as well as the economic pressures residents are facing, entrance fee and monthly fees are continuously monitored through a market analysis to ensure that we remain affordable. We not only partner with the residents of Stone Ridge, but also with the outside community, as Mrs. Walsh mentioned. We believe that we have the most talented aging professionals in the area, and as a result, we serve as a resource for the surrounding community. We partner closely with local organizations to ensure we are best meeting the needs of the community. Residents also use their interests and talents to benefit both the internal and external community through volunteerism. Many residents volunteer in our health center and in the assisted living, but many also volunteer at the Seaport and Mystic Aquarium. As the economy continues to place pressure on our communities, a positive and productive partnership is critical to our success. I feel incredibly fortunate to be part of a company and a community that both place an emphasis on the professional relationships and respect between management and residents, and for the lessons that I have learned from those I work with every day. I can't think of a better field where a person can not only help others, but be helped, both professionally and personally. Thank you.
That was great.